So there is a error in Linux, especially if you use Manjaro, which is MCPY error. This error usually happens due to your boot order or during installation and upgrade of Manjaro Linux. After the upgrade of Manjaro Linux, usually the software makes an error. It replaces the capital letters for the EFI installation folder into smaller letters. After that, you see an error in Grub where Grub says that it has failed to load and you enter the Grub rescue mode. To solve this problem, there are two fixes. You usually need to change the file names. To do that, you need to mount into a live ISO, a live USB. This means you need to boot from your pen drive or your Linux CD disks if you have a Manjaro ISO. So you need to enter your pen drive into your PC, then you need to boot into BIOS mode. To boot into BIOS mode, you need to press a particular key when you restart the PC. It depends on what type of computer or device you have. Usually for me, it's F2 or F9. Once you enter the BIOS, you have to put the pen drive or the disk that has the Manjaro Live USB or the ISO in the first priority order. After that, save and restart the PC. From the Manjaro program, you need to open. You're testing out Manjaro or you're opening with your proper graphical drivers that you have. Once you're there, you need to open the terminal. You have to open the terminal. This is usually in your start menu. Type in terminal. After you have opened the terminal, you need to type a series of commands. Usually the first command that you need is to see how many devices are connected. You have to be careful in selecting the devices because do not overwrite your pen drive or your CD. You need to look at the device that has the main Linux installation, the main Manjaro installation. For me, it was not on SDA, but in some devices it could be on SDA. For me, it was on the NVMe drive. When I pressed the first command, I saw the name of my NVMe drive where the Manjaro Linux was installed, and there was another NVMe partition which had the EFI. You need to write down what all of the devices' name and the information you have because they are going to come in handy. My main Manjaro Linux file was in a place called NVMe blah blah. So when I have to press the next command, I have to write NVMe blah blah to mount it properly. This may vary in your device, so make sure that you mount correctly. So I have a list of commands that I have typed. I have created a photo for it. I don't know whether it is going to show up properly in the video or not. You can follow the list of commands I have typed. However, I have also put them in text format as well. You do not need to press the number in front of the commands. In live USB mode, another thing you should note is that your password is blank. You just need to type enter. While I was typing a list of commands, I made a mistake. I made a directory of boot folder inside the boot folder. We only need to make one boot folder. I have shown the correct one in text form, but my photo may have a mistake. It is not going to be much of a problem though, because it's still going to function as properly. As you can see, I have made a boot folder inside boot folder and make directory. When I created the directory, I made a slight typo. I added an additional boot folder inside the boot folder. This was a mistake, but it didn't change the actual function of the project. However, in the text to the video, I have corrected it, but the photo still have the error. After that, we need to make a series of folders. After making the necessary folders, we need to mount both our main Linux software where it was located and also where our EFI file was located. For me, it was in two different NVMe partitions, so I typed their name correctly: NVMe blah blah blah, NVMe blah blah something else. It may differ for you. After that, I have also tested whether it was successfully mounted by using the ls command. This is the correct command. Do not make a boot folder inside the boot folder like me. We have to type the command to copy from our live USB EFI file to the EFI file of my Linux. After that, I had a particular problem though. We have to unmount after mounting, after copying the files. The problem I had was that we could not unmount properly from the computer, so I had to give command for a recursive unmount. After that, I was successfully able to boot into my system, but when I pressed install Grub, it still showed me errors. This was because the memory tester and the software were detecting the Linux boot from the live USB, not the Linux folder that is my actual file. They were detecting the Linux from the USB pen drive. I had removed the pen drive and successfully fixed the boot order. I had to type for the boot order. The command I used was for the EFI boot system, but I only kept the number which was my Linux system. This number may vary from system to system. For me, it was a particular number that I pressed. You have to give the command for the EFI so you can detect where your main EFI folder is located and what is the boot order. After fixing the boot order, I gave the install grub command again. After that, I rebooted the system. Once I gave the command for the install grub command again, it didn't show me any errors. However, when I use update grub, it still shows me error from time to time, but that is not a problem. I also put list of my command history in case nobody misses anything. For me, the EFI boot command I used, the main boot number I had to use where my Manjaro was located was 00 something, but I have changed the number here. It may be different for you. Let's use this thing. For example, in one of the devices it is 000, so you only need to put that file name in the command. Also, you need to install grub. Don't forget to reboot and install grub to see whether this installs successfully. When you try to upgrade grub, it will still show you an error. It may not detect your main hardware name, but that doesn't mean anything.